Hi guys, welcome back to my channel once again here on YouTube. Today I've got another rankings video for you. WWE, the Year of 2005 DVD. Before we get into that, I just want to give a few shout outs to a few of my friends. So first of all, the 2004 Punk for being such a great friend and great support, helping me through everything I need to know about wrestling, collecting, DVD wise and everything. He's a good go-to guy for any information. Anyone that ever wants to start out a wrestling DVD channel, I recommend contacting this dude. He'll set you on the right path. Excuse me, guys. He'll set you on the right path. He's a very good friend of mine as well. And there you go. I'm paying homage to him there with the 2004 Punk logo sticker he kindly gifted me. And yeah, very good friend of mine. If it wasn't for him during lockdown 2020, I wouldn't have got my ass in gear and decided to go about having my own channel. So here I am now, obviously, in 2023 and still going. Another shout out to a good friend of mine, Eli Johnson, for being an awesome friend over in the US. Does some awesome trades with me and sends me some wonderful gifts. And he gifted me that lovely Sting pin badge there. Surfer Sting. Yeah, and one more is David Mansell, who keeps giving me a shout out in nearly all of his videos. I appreciate that, dude. I'm sorry I don't reply to many of your videos. I try to watch as many as I can, though, and I do appreciate all the kind shout outs. So thank you, David Mansell, as well. So let's get on with this DVD now, then, guys. So first of all, in 15th place, I do believe, we have Unforgiven from 2005, obviously. So Cena versus Angle on the front cover artwork there. So WWE champion versus gold medalist. I always got this cover confused with the 2006 one, and that's why I get the pay-per-view confused when I try and remember what matches are on it, because they're so similar and they came out back-to-back years kind of thing, if that makes sense. So we had obviously Cena versus Angle for the WWE title, Intercontinental Championship match between Carlito and Ric Flair, the steel cage match between Matt Hardy and Edge with Lita, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Masters, the Hurricane and Rosie. Who remembers them as a tag team? I thought they were pretty cool, to be honest. Going after I think they were defending the World Tag Team Championship in this against Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. Big Show versus Snitsky. Trish Stratus and Ashley versus Victoria and Tori Wilson. And Shelton Benjamin versus the controversial Kerwin White. I'm not going to go into him too much, details about him, guys, because it kick up a lot of shit on YouTube and whatever. So you research him, you'll understand. It's Chavo Guerrero, in case you didn't know as well, guys. In 14th place, I decided to go with Backlash. I'm not saying any of these are really bad. They're just the order I've put them in. There are pay-per-views I like much better than all of these ones. That's how I've ranked them all. Hence, a ranking videos, right? A rankings video. Sorry, guys. Backlash 2005. Triple H on the cover artwork. Inlay and disc. And if I put that there, can you see it well? Yeah, so guys, I'm going to have to adjust the camera a little bit. Give me a second. Very sorry about that. There we go. That's it. So yes, this one had the World Heavyweight Championship match between Batista and Triple H. Shawn Michaels team with Hulk Hogan to take on Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. Shelton Benjamin versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship, which was an absolute awesome match. So was the last man standing match between Chris Benoit and Edge. Kane took on Viscera. And we had a Tag Team Turmoil World Tag Team Championship match. Yeah, it was a good-ish pay-per-view. Just not that memorable for me to have had it higher in the rankings. Just my opinion, guys. In 13th place, I decided to go with New Year's Revolution. The very first ever New Year's Revolution. Lovely artwork for it. I do like it. It's really cool with the dragon in the background there. Batista on the front. Spine. This one didn't have an inlay, unfortunately, I don't think. Oh, it did. Beg your pardon. It was hidden away behind the Reckless Intent CD advert there. So yeah, there we go, guys. Sorry about that. This one had Muhammad Hassan against Jerry the King Lawler. World Tag Team title match. William Regal and Eugene. They took on Christian and Tyson Tomko. Lita against Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. Shelton Benjamin versus Maven for the Intercontinental Championship. Kane versus Gene Snitsky. And then we had the Elimination Chamber match. Triple H versus Batista versus Edge versus Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit. Shawn Michaels is a guest referee for the World Heavyweight Championship, which was a good Elimination Chamber, in my opinion. Probably the best match on that pay-per-view. In 12th place, I decided to go with Armageddon. Very angry looking Batista on the front there. Well, his face anyway. This one came with the inlay as well, which is pretty awesome. Strange match card, this one. Obviously, the Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Randy Orton was fun. Batista and Rey Mysterio as a tag team taking on Kane and Big Show for the World Tag Team Champions. The WWE Tag Team Champions SmackDown against Raw's World Tag Team Champions, which was pretty cool. Match 4 of the best of 7 series for the undisputed United States Championship. So Chris Benoit versus Booker T. As I've said in previous videos, I like the best of 7 series between Benoit and Booker T. It was pretty fun. This one was a pretty cool match as well. Matt Hardy versus JBL, the Mexicals versus Eminem, and a Cruiserweight Championship match between Juventud and Kid Cash. I do love that Hell in a Cell though, guys. I must admit, it was fun. So in 11th place now, guys. Taboo Tuesday 2005. Again, as I explained in other videos where I've talked about Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday, I do like the concept of it. It's good that the fans could get to vote and everything, but it kind of upset a lot of WWE officials backstage, management, etc., because that's not who they wanted in the match, and that's not how they wanted to book the match. But then why put a pay-per-view together like this if you're just going to piss and moan about who the fans pick? It's very odd. But, it was fun while it lasted. We had 4... Did we have 4 of them? 4 Cyber Sundays and 2 Taboo Tuesdays. I can't remember now. 6, 7, 8... No, 3 Cyber Sundays and 2 Taboo Tuesdays. Unfortunately, this one didn't come with an inlay. But there's the matches on the back there, guys. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the cover artwork, did I? Yeah, it's quite clever. We've got like Kurt Angle and John Cena on 2 monitors there with Eric Bischoff all tied up like he'd been kidnapped or some shit. So the triple threat match for the WWE Championship, we had John Cena versus Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. A steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship, Ric Flair versus Triple H. Obviously Triple H working his way through, over the years, working his way through each member of Evolution, starting with Randy Orton, feuding with him, then Batista, and then finally Ric Flair. A street fight, Batista as he took on Jonathan Coachman, who had Goldust and Vader helping him. Mankind versus Carlito. SmackDown Challenge, so we had Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy against Snitsky and Chris Masters. Sorry, guys. World Tag Team Championship, Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch as they took on Kane and Big Show. Eugene and Superfly Jimmy Snuka against Rob Conway and Tyson Tomko. And then we had the Fulfill Your Fantasy Battle Royal for the Women's Championship. Sorry, guys, it's so small, the writing. So we have Trish Stratus versus Victoria versus Mickie James versus Maria versus Candice Michelle versus Ashley. They should do something like that again with the voting, like a pay-per-view where you get to vote the matches or vote the match type, etc. Even if it's just as a one-off, like every few years maybe, or let some give it to NXT for something to do, if you see what I mean. That would be good. So next up in 10th place, we have No Way Out. Now I remember reading in SummerSlam magazine before this pay-per-view took place that Pennsylvania, I think this is where this took place, they banned barbed wire matches, so it was strange that they had a steel cage barbed wire match still take place. I don't know how they got around that, but it wasn't a great match anyway. It's memorable. The finish was definitely memorable, but the match itself wasn't fantastic. JBL against Big Show for the WWE Championship, the match in question I'm talking about, sorry guys. Number one contenders tournament final match, John Cena versus Kurt Angle. Winner faces WWE Champion at WrestleMania 21. Undertaker versus Luther Reigns. No relation to Roman Reigns, as I've said before, guys. I think he was like a henchman for Kurt Angle at some point, and he starred in a few movies. Then we didn't really see him again after probably towards the end of 2005, maybe the beginning of 2006. Can't really remember now. WWE Tag Team Championship match, the Bashams versus Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Booker T versus Heidenreich. I did like Heidenreich, guys. I just didn't like that stupid storyline with him and Michael Cole, the hide and rape thing. That's just disturbing and fucked up and sick and wrong. I tried to pretend that didn't happen. But apart from that, he was a pretty cool wrestler, I thought. We had a 6-man elimination cruiserweight championship match. Funaki versus Paul London versus Shannon Moore versus Akio versus Spike Dudley versus Chavo Guerrero. And SmackDown Rookie Diva 2005. We had Rochelle, Lauren, Michelle McCool, Joy Giovanni, evening gown, swimsuit, talent. That's all I can read there, guys. That's what it says. Joy Giovanni. Wow, that's a name I haven't heard for a long time. I remember her on the one of the SmackDown versus Raw games. It could have been the very first one, or it might have been 2006. But yeah, I knew she was in one of them because she was quite cheap on the GM mode. I always used to just, sign her to a cheap 1-year contract, and because she was a good to use as a jobber for the other divas and stuff back then. Sorry, I don't mean to keep ranting on about random shit like that. So in 9th place we have Judgment Day. I do like that cover with John Cena on. It looks really cool. I like the colour they've used as well, and the reflection of him. I guess is he on the table or meant to be leaning against water? Maybe, I don't know, but it looks good. Looks awesome. This one does come in with an inlay, which is good. So we had a really good I Quit match, very brutal as well, between John Cena and JBL for the WWE Championship. My good friend Nathan the Wrestling Guy did a review of this for me probably a year ago or so. If you want to go and check the review for this out on his channel, guys, that would mean a lot to him, and obviously it mean a lot to me as well because he's a good friend of mine. We had Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. I liked their feud, but I didn't like the using the whole Dominic Mysterio as a whose son is he kind of storyline. That was a bit shit. They should have thought of something else to use to go with the storyline and for the feud between Rey Mysterio and Eddie. But they always put on good matches, I personally thought. Then we had Booker T versus Kurt Angle. Big Show versus Carlito. United States Championship match. This seems really bizarre to say this. So United States Championship match. Champion Orlando Jordan against Heidenreich. Two names you wouldn't associate with the United States Championship because you didn't think, well, you wouldn't think they were at that level. I don't mean to be rude about them, but I thought they're both good wrestlers, don't get me wrong. As I said earlier, Heidenreich, pretty cool. Orlando Jordan, I thought he was pretty cool as part of JBL's cabinet. But having them have a match over the United States Championship, it was just something you wouldn't think of, would it? If you think about it back in 2005, it's just, yeah, very strange. But, fair play to them. It was okay. It wasn't a 5-star match, but, it happened. We had Eminem versus Hardcore Holly and Charlie Haas for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Hardcore Holly pretty much had near enough the whole roster as his tag team partner over time. He's had so many partners. Now, I'm over-exaggerating, but yeah, he seemed to have had a lot of tag team partners throughout his career, Hardcore Holly. Paul London took on Chavo for the Cruiserweight Championship, but they've put Cruiserweight Championship of the World, which I've never seen them put something like that before, but it's pretty good. But yeah, good I Quit match. So in 8th place, sorry guys, we go with the Great American Bash 2005. Sorry, my nose is still a little bit blocked and I've got a bit of a sore throat and cough going on still. It's been going on weeks, on and off. It's just disgusting. Lots of bugs around at the moment, so I do apologise for me coughing and not sounding great, getting all my words out properly as well. Lovely picture of Tori Wilson on the front of this as well. And I do like this card sleeve. It's really cool. So I don't know if you can just about make out the matches there, guys. Got Batista against JBL for the World Heavyweight Championship. Orlando Jordan defending his US Championship against Chris Benoit. A #1 contender match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Undertaker versus Muhammad Hassan. And this is the last time we see Muhammad Hassan. Quite another controversial character. I'm not going to go into that too much either because I don't want to get flagged or anything here on YouTube talking about anything to do with that. Again, guys, if you're new to this kind of, the ruthless aggression era and you don't know who Muhammad Hassan is and you wanted to know more about him, by all means Google it or, look him up. But I'm not going to talk about him, his character, that is. Him as a wrestler, he was pretty good. He was interesting, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. We had Tag Team Championship, WWE Tag Team Championship, Eminem versus Road Warrior, Animal and Heidenreich, so like a new version of Legion of Doom. Again, I like this version of Heidenreich, but apparently they didn't get along, Heidenreich and Road Warrior Animal, so their team didn't last too long, unfortunately. Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. If Eddie Guerrero wins, he will reveal Rey's secret. And we had some other matches there you could just about make out on the bottom. So Booker T versus Christian. A bra and panties match. Tori Wilson versus Melina. And a 6-man tag match. BWO versus the Mexicals. And I want to apologise to my good friend Kenny over in Canada because I said to him, this is the second time we had LWO show up in WWE, with Rey Mysterio and all the others, like Zelina Vega and all that. Sorry if I got her name wrong. You know the ones I mean. Here in 2023, the LWO we have on WWE TV at the moment. And I said to him, we've had another version of LWO back in 2005, and he didn't know what I was on about, but I got it wrong. I was on about the Mexicals. I thought they were LWO. But I think it's because they had that match with the BWO that my mind got all messed up, and for some reason I thought LWO. All of them were LWO members, I'm sure, in the WCW days, except Super Crazy because he's a former ECW wrestler, not a WCW wrestler. Yeah, so sorry about that, dude. think we're on 7 now. Sorry, guys. Gone quiet again. I'll just count what ranking we're on. So number 7, Vengeance. Another Hell in a Cell match for 2005. This time between Batista and Triple H. Sorry, guys. Mine went bloody blank again. Carlito versus Shelton Benjamin for the Intercontinental Championship. So we had Christy Hemme versus Victoria. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Kane versus Edge. John Cena versus Christian versus Chris Jericho. A triple threat match for the WWE Championship. And I do believe this to be Christian's last ever match in WWE before he left for TNA at that point. Not last ever match, but last match in WWE before leaving for TNA, because he did return in 2008, I think it was. But yeah, good stuff. Good match as well, that triple threat match. So coming up in 6th place in the rankings, we have Survivor Series. Cool artwork there with Undertaker on the front. And Undertaker was on quite a few of the Survivor Series covers over the years, and this is one of the really cool ones. I did like the 1994 one with him, with all the cowboys on the background as well, and the logo for that was pretty awesome as well. So this one had bloody small writing again. Here we go. Let's try and read it. So, Trish Stratus versus Melina for the Women's Championship. General Manager versus General Manager. So we had Eric Bischoff against Teddy Long. United States Championship. We had Chris Benoit versus Booker T. Match 1 of the Best of 7 series. A last man standing match between Ric Flair and Triple H. WWE Championship. We had John Cena against Kurt Angle. Special guest referee Daivari. And obviously the traditional Survivor Series elimination style match. Shawn Michaels, Kane, Big Show, Carlito and Chris Masters all representing Raw against Team SmackDown's Batista, Randy Orton, JBL, Rey Mysterio and Lashley. And of course the return of The Undertaker. We'll be breaking to the top 5 now, guys. And some of you ain't going to agree with my list. Some of you probably like my lists. But it's just my list. It isn't the right list, you know. It's just everything I think should be ranked this way, you know. And here we go then. So here's the top 5. SummerSlam. Hogan versus Michaels in 5th place. I think this could have been a much better match than it was if it wasn't for Shawn Michaels behaving like a complete kid and completely overselling in the match itself. I know I'm not going to put all the blame on Michaels, because I heard rumours or read rumours in magazines like Power Slam and that back in the day that Hogan had promised to put Michaels over if Michaels put Hogan over, etc. And then he backed out of his deal because he said he had like a knee injury and he could only work one match with him, or I don't know what it was, but it was some bullshit. So I'm not entirely going to blame Michaels for it, but that was one of the things that did ruin what could have been a very good first time ever legend versus icon match. And it did, ruin that. That's just my opinion though, guys. Ladder match for custody of Dominic Mysterio. We had Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. Like I said, good feud and good matches together, just stupid storyline. Another US Championship defense from Orlando Jordan as he took on Chris Benoit again. Eugene against Kurt Angle. Undertaker versus Randy Orton. Matt Hardy versus Edge. Batista versus JBL in a no-holds-barred match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And John Cena versus Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship. And moving to 4th place, we have No Mercy. Batista and Eddie Guerrero on the front cover there. So this was very sad because, yes guys, this was Eddie Guerrero's last pay-per-view match. His last match was, I believe it was a few days after this, or the following week after this, and it was against Mr. Kennedy. But yeah, this was his last ever pay-per-view match, so a World Heavyweight Championship match against Batista. And it was a good story between those two. It was like, could Batista trust Eddie, and or would Eddie try and screw him, kind of thing. But it was good. I enjoyed that. Such a shame, very tragic what happened to poor Eddie. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. We had a first ever handicap casket match, which was very entertaining and awesome. I did like this. So Undertaker took on Randy Orton and his father, Cowboy Bob Orton. I was talking to my friend Al Garron about this match. He'd watched it on his Undertaker DVD he purchased recently. Can't remember the name of the collection it was on. Could have been Greatest Matches. I think that was what it was. But yeah, it's he was talking to me about that match and showing me clips. It's kind of funny, and yeah, it was fun. A fun match. Fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship. We had Chris Benoit versus Booker T versus Christian versus Orlando Jordan. Rey Mysterio against JBL. A 6-person tag team match. LOD and Christy Hemme versus Eminem. So yeah, at this time now, Heidenreich is now a member of Legion of Doom. They didn't put that on the Great American Bash 2005 match listing. We had Nunzio against Juventud for the Cruiserweight Championship. We had Hardcore Holly versus Mr. Kennedy. And there's a funny backstage moment on this pay-per-view as well, guys, with Booker T and Sharmell. And Mr. Kennedy interrupts them, and it's just really entertaining and so funny. If you get a chance to check that one out, then honestly, guys, give that one a watch. Very funny stuff. Bobby Lashley against Simon Dean. Lashley looked very, very sloppy in this match. He pretty much could have injured Simon Dean. I know there was I think it was cakes or something everywhere that Simon Dean had brought out, and he had to try and make Lashley eat them or some shit. Or if he couldn't beat Lashley, then Simon Dean had to eat them. But that didn't help having them in the ring, and Lashley was sliding all over the place because of that, and it felt like he was losing grip a few times of some of the moves he was putting on Simon Dean. And when he went to do the Dominator, he almost dropped him. And I know Lashley was relatively new at this point, but something similar did happen at, I think it was the Greatest Royal Rumble in 2018 as well, with Lashley. During the actual Rumble match, he'd dropped a few people or almost dropped a few of the wrestlers a few times in the match. But maybe that's because of the heat and all the sweat and that. I don't know. Nothing against Lashley, good wrestler. But yeah, things like that just stand out for me. Don't mean to pick on him or anything. In third place, there's going to be some trouble tonight. A very Royal Rumble, that's right. Or something like that, the video for that, with those two rival teams, SmackDown against Raw. There's another version with an alternate cover version of this, here in the UK. I think it has Batista and John Cena on the front. I'd like to own that one at some point. 2004 Punk has both of those. I think Rocket Dave does as well. Yeah, hello Rocket Dave as well. I'll give you a shout out, dude. I haven't forgotten about you. And anyway, back to this. So we have, the 30-man Royal Rumble match itself, which has very controversial finish with Batista and John Cena fucking it up. So Vince has to come out, and he injures himself coming out and trying to sort it out, so he has to sit down in the ring. When that happened, I thought to myself, why is he sat down? When it happened at the time. And then obviously I read in magazines that he'd injured himself, stomping his way out to the ring, and then the way he got in the ring, and he's torn his muscles in his legs or something. I don't know. I'm not a fucking medical expert, so I don't know what I'm on about. I'm not a doctor or anything. So, but he did some. He did injure something in his legs, I think, something like that. Yeah, we had JBL versus Kurt Angle versus Big Show, a triple threat WWE Championship match. Triple H against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. And obviously, as I said, the 30-man Royal Rumble match had 15 Raw and 15 SmackDown superstars who compete for a shot at a championship at WrestleMania 21. Undertaker versus Heidenreich. And Shawn Michaels versus Edge. Sorry, Undertaker versus Heidenreich was a casket match. Pretty fun, but a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that. The Heidenreich and Undertaker match. Here we go then with the top two guys. This was quite a tough decision for me, but here in second place, I put WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. I absolutely loved the build up to this when it happened, and all the promos we were getting, all the video packages with like Triple H dressed as Braveheart, Undertaker dressed as Dirty Harry. You know, like they were all like movie parodies. Very cleverly done. We had JBL and John Cena doing a courtroom scene from, I think it was A Few Good Men. I could be wrong though, guys. I can't remember the title of that film off the top of my head. No, I can't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it was A Few Good Men. But yeah, that's just a few of the ones we had. Oh, and of course, yeah, the Booker T and Eddie Guerrero Pulp Fiction promo parody thing. That was fun. Yes, so this one had Triple H versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. We had JBL versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. We had a sumo match between Big Show and Akibono. Piper's Pit, which was absolutely entertaining, I thought, guys. Special guest was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Trish Stratus versus Christy Hemme for the Women's Championship. Legend versus Legend Killer. So we had Undertaker versus Randy Orton. Sorry, guys, writing so small. The very first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. Jericho, Benoit, Benjamin, Edge, Christian, and Kane. Winner gets a future World Heavyweight Championship shot. And Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, and a shitload of extras, including the Hall of Fame. I'm trying not to let this video overrun, guys. I just realised it's over half an hour now, and I do apologise for that. Number one, if you haven't guessed it already, it's ECW's One Night Stand. This was so fucking cool. And when it was announced in 2005, it was on my, like, obviously my watch list to watch around the time when it aired and everything. And I thought to myself, is it worth staying up for this? Am I going to like it? Because, you know, I wasn't really an ECW fan as such back in the day, and I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it. And how wrong was I? It was fantastic from start to finish. And obviously some controversy with JBL attacking Blue Meanie, actually shooting on him for real. He needed a shitload of stitches after that. And yeah, lots of wrestlers got absolutely drunk during this as well. And why not? Why not have fun? Yeah, Lance Storm versus Chris Jericho. Extreme luchador action. We had Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis. A freeway dance. The insane luchador Super Crazy against Tajiri. Against Little Guido. Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit. Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman versus Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. But yeah, what an absolutely fantastic pay-per-view. I really did enjoy that, guys. There were other stuff there featuring the return of Rob Van Dam, Taz, Spike Dudley, Al Snow with Head, Dawn Marie, Sabu, Balls Mahoney, and all the rest of them there. Sorry, guys, I just don't want this video going on any longer for you. I'm going to put you all out your misery now of listening to my annoying voice. It's like nails on a chalkboard, I'm sure. And there we go. That wraps up my rankings of the year of 2005 WWE DVD. I hope you've liked this, guys. Please feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hi to new subscribers. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. And give me a thumbs up if I deserve one. Sorry if I've already said that. Feel free to comment as well. Obviously, comment and rank your favourites, or just give me your top 5 maybe of 2005. Thanks, guys. Take good care of yourselves. See you again. Much love, guys.